Thank you, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Peel. I'm Justin.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Edson.
Edson.
He's there. He's still taking that L from the prediction that he failed on. But yeah, hey, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for turning into another edition of The Peel. Do us a favor though. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get notified whenever we do post content on our YouTube channel. We have been trying to get better at uploading player interviews, coaches interviews, whatever stuff we also get back from the Dynamo, as well as our own stuff that we get from the team. Also, go ahead and hit that like button and share it. If you're listening to the podcast, be sure to like and follow us on all our podcast sites. That'd be Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. We also do have tips available. Go ahead and see that link below in the description to contribute to our show. This will help us grow the show going forward, help us pay for sponsorship, or not sponsored ads and stuff on Facebook. If we were having live shows, we would have koozies and stuff like that out there, but that's obviously on hold. And then go ahead, finally, be sure to give the Peel 05 a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So how's the week been, guys? I mean, there's been a ton of soccer. The MLS matches have been pretty decent, minus a select few. I know the only ones I haven't watched have been the real early ones, only because I've been stuck at work. But how's the week been, guys?
It's only been one day in the week, so the week hasn't been that bad. Last week was pretty busy, but this week, not so much so far.
Yeah, not much.
Josh, Edson? Why you always got to be the one that's against the current? Both of us, like Justin and I, are wearing RGV, and you're wearing an orange jersey.
I mean, come on now. At least I'm wearing a Dynamo one, not like some Union
Justin,
shirt or
garbage
or something like that.
Okay, pause.
Justin, there is no pause. This is the Dynamo.
Why do people give me garbage for
This
supporting
is the Dynamo podcast?
To be fair, I didn't change when I got home from work. I just wore the clothes I had when I went to work. So not everybody's perfect, Josh.
I mean, not everybody can be me, but I mean,
a trash
bag. Huge shout out to Jorge Pedraza, Eric, Swooshy, and Sly Rooster. Welcome everybody to the stream.
The regulars.
I will say, kind of going back on the jersey though, when we get those sick looking Surge jerseys, man, we'll all be wearing those, because I don't know who designed those, but they need to be taking over the guy who does the Adidas jerseys for MLS. That is straight fire.
I will say this, and here's kind of like a shameless plug before I continue, that those shirts are made by Icarus FC, one of the sponsors for the Down in the Valley podcast.
Nice.
For the network that the Down in the Valley podcast belongs to.
Yes.
You need to be making some jerseys for the whole league.
Right.
But yeah, man, those jerseys are straight fire, and I think I jumped on it, and it was supposed to be a surprise for Josh and Edson.
And of course, Josh had to ruin it.
He did.
I was literally in the middle of a checkout before Justin's like, "What size jersey do you wear?" I'm like, "Should I finish my transaction, or are you buying this?"
Oh yeah, so Jorge, the jerseys are pretty effing legit. We can't wait till you guys actually put the order in for that. We're definitely gonna rock it on the show. Hopefully, maybe by that time, I doubt it because COVID sucks. But hopefully by that time we'll be able to have a live show somewhere and we can, wear it and have a couple supporters out there and get back to the way we used to do things. I kind of miss doing live shows.
Yeah,
like in person.
So go ahead and check out the Surge's Twitter. I believe they had it posted there. The jerseys are $55, if I'm not mistaken, for non-members.
50. Yep.
55 for non, and 55 for non, and 50 for members of the Surge. So you haven't seen them, go check it out.
I do also have to say, because I don't want to discredit anybody, but look, if the other supporters groups put out stuff like that too, I will be more than willing to buy it, throw a couple dollars out your all's way, and rock it on the show. I mean, I have no problem doing that. It just, I happened to see that one and I pulled the trigger on it. But look, EBTA, any of the other ones, y'all put something out like that, shirts, whatever, I will totally rock it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would also take it for free just to rock on the show too. But I don't think anybody here would complain about that. But I also don't think we'd have a problem throwing some money towards the supporters either. But let's go ahead and get it started. So, in case you guys were unaware, we did play the Giants that were LAFC, and I say were because Dynamo, although we got owned in certain portions of that match, they stood toe to toe against LAFC. Josh, what were your initial thoughts after the match?
Initial thoughts were okay. It's the same. It's the same Dynamo. Going attacking. Tale of two halves. It always seems like we come out in the second half, and no matter how many goals we're up, we blow the lead. And fortunately, we walked out with a draw in that game. And I mean, first game back, you can really see the depth, and especially in defense, kind of take its toll a little bit. With when we lost Adam Lundqvist, and all we had was Sam Junko to back him up, so that kind of plays a factor. I did like to see a lot of the youth though. Nicola Lemoy,
making his Dynamo debut.
Yeah, making his Dynamo debut, and yeah, I mean, he was impressive. Granted, he was already put into a tough situation. We're down, or we're not down. I'm sorry, the lead was already blown by that point. But I mean, I like the hustle that he had. I like the fact that there didn't seem to be a lot of nerves going into the game for him. And of course, Memo Rodriguez stealing the show, getting 2 goals, opening up. Yeah, man, opening his account this season, man. That was legit. I'll take it. So I mean, overall, I liked what I saw. Especially obviously in the first half. We got to continue to absorb the pressure because obviously we're not gonna continue to be a possession-based team. So we got
obviously not by those stats last night.
Yeah. I mean, that's heavily favored. So that hasn't changed. The transition from offense to defense, I mean, it seemed a little bit better. I think if we held our own against LAFC, I think that it kind of goes to show us that we can do some work in this group.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go back to the chat real quick because it's lighting up right now.
Oh, snap! Yeah, I wasn't even on the page.
Yeah, so Slice is very surprised by the result, but I'm okay with the point. No complaints here. And I think that's the general sentiment, excuse me, is that, if you were on the outside of the Houston bubble looking in, you were thinking it was going to be a cakewalk for LAFC because, let's face it, there is still a huge question mark over the Dynamo, going into this season. And it showed after the SKC match. Let's see, Javier, besides final score, I like the player's attitude. Gonna miss Kevin the Goat Garcia. That's a comment for you, Josh. Swooshy, I'm happy for Memo. Monota seemed to be having an off night, so glad he stepped up. Can we talk about that real quick? Let's go ahead and talk about Memo. I was thoroughly, and I can't say that I'm impressed because I think at this point, I expect that from Memo. I expect that kind of performances. We've already seen flashes of it, towards the end of last season. I was thoroughly pleased with the performance that Memo put out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's you always want to be proud of homegrown, but I mean, Memo Rodriguez is taking that to another level for us, and he's got a lot. I mean, reading social media too, he's got a lot of positive vibes from him. I know Matt Doyle was kind of breaking down the whole being moved to central mid, the way that Tab Ramos is playing him now, and obviously that works. So we'll definitely end up seeing more of that. I mean, at the end of the day, our offense is surefire. I mean, there's a lot of weapons that can be used for it. Now it just goes to see how they can transition to the defense because, like I said, we don't have a lot of depth for.
Sly brings up a good question. Is Tap's system not going to feed Manotas? Because let's be frank, that's how he gets the goals.
Well, okay, yeah, okay. I like the way Morrow was working himself into that play. The way that he was being utilized as a false 9 was great because he was in there. He was pulling the center backs out of that box. So, Yeah, he didn't score, he didn't really touch the ball, but that also left space open for Darwin Quintero, Albert Elise, Memo Rodriguez. So I mean, I liked the way that Morrow was being utilized in that position there.
Let's see. So there were a few, at least in the first half, and I got one for the second half. There is one thing that kind of bothered me in the first half, and I understand what Tab's mindset was, and I'm not mad at it. But you have your two, your left back and your right back, and they were pressing extremely high early in that game. And I get it. You want to throw numbers forward because you want to try to get out to an early lead. But on the flip side of that, that's going to kill you on the counter, especially with a team like LAFC.
But that hasn't changed. That's how we've been playing. Yeah, that's nothing new.
Do you think the speed is honestly there between our two backs?
I mean, not in the first game back, but eventually, yeah, I think it can be.
Or do you think it was just an outlier because of how fast LAFC is up top?
I mean, either way, I don't think that we're going to get the full fitness and speed of these guys the entire game. That's why it's so important for players like Albert and Elise and Darwin Quintero to actually hustle back and transition better back onto defense. That's what Tab Ramos is really wanting to utilize for right now.
They brought that up.
Well.
Taylor Twellman brought that up in the broadcast too. Well, actually, no, it was or it might have been Glenn Davis. It was one of the two. But they did bring up the fact that under Wilmer Cabrera there was not that responsibility for Albert Elise to play back at all in a defensive role.
And Sly also brings up that Bizama is back as well. So
yes, he was on the bench for that match.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be mad about seeing if for some reason if Lundqvist can't go the next game, maybe swapping Valentin to a left back position, and then Bizama, Jose Bizama at right back.
I think my biggest concern, and I was talking to Jorge Clara, Federico de Michelis, a bunch of other press people that I meet at the stadium. We were talking after the game. And one of the biggest things that I was concerned about this team on defense was those through balls. The through balls that LAFC kept on attempting, they were going through the defense like most of the time. And that's how I think, if I recall correctly, I think either all three or the first and the third goals for LAFC came with a through ball. And I want to think that it's just the rust on our center backs being inactive for so long that they're not reacting as fast as they usually would do. But the ease at which LAFC would use the through balls and make a dangerous attack with them, it was very frustrating for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot that can be said about what we saw last night. I mean, and then also on top of it, it is the first game back after, was it 4 months? Has it been about? Yeah, holy crap.
And it was 100, what was it, like 128 days or something like that?
Yeah. So, it is the first game back as well. So, which also goes into the next question here. So she asks if you were Tab, would you play the same system next game? Well, in my opinion, we were exploited in the second half. Mm-hmm. I think that the Timbers are going to definitely be looking at that. The way that LA took us out in the second half, they're going to want to do the same, against us. So no, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't play the exact system. What I would probably do. Now, granted, when I say the exact same system, I mean players, not necessarily all the same players, because then you get to manage their minutes and stuff.
Okay, my question.
But we're known as a transitioning team.
My question to you guys, my question to the chat. In the second half, did Tab Ramos order the team to hold back and park the bus, or were they pushed by LAFC?
Josh, I'll let you go ahead and take that one first. I want to hear what you have to say.
I think it was a little bit of both. Probably, I think a lot of it could have been players being gassed, because if you look at it, come like 70-ish minute, Albert Elise not running, Yamaro not running. They're kind of gassed at that point, So they were kind of forced to park the bus. And then on top of that too, LAFC smelled blood in the water, so they just continued to push that attack forward, So there was a lot of that into play. So I could see at that point where it's just kind of like, okay, we might actually not have a lot of fight left in us right now, so we may just have to park the bus.
I just feel.
Can I take a total side note? Edson, you and Harry really do have like the biggest rivalry in the podcast world. Josh, he says, what's up to us, and then he tells Edson to piss off. But Edson, go ahead.
I feel like maybe because a lot of the comments that I saw was, why didn't the Dynamo maintain possession or try to maintain possession of the ball during the match? And you look at the stats, and it was like 65-35 possession in favor of LAFC. When you don't have the ball, you're the one that's running around. You're the one that's getting faster, quicker, because you're running around. Especially how quick LAFC pass, you're gonna be gassed that way. But the Dynamo made very little to no intention to maintain possession of the ball, to make LAFC run around, let the time go by. It was all it was all an initiative by LAFC, and that's why I feel like when the team does not know how to maintain possession for large periods of time, you're putting yourself in you're vulnerable to their attack. At least that's the way I think. Because I know there were people that were asking for Tomas Martinez for that exact same reason, to try and get the team to maintain some sort of possessive spell in the second half and kind of waste some time through there. But we didn't see that, and like I said, 65% possession of LAFC.
So, Jorge does say, same as Mart's reaction was not there, but he will be a beast. I actually don't think he had a horrible night. And the goal that Rossi scored, look, almost nobody in MLS is stopping that shot 9 out of 10 times. That was a hell of a strike by Rossi. I mean, he was beat fair and square.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm
You're
reading
good.
some of the comments here. Yeah. I mean, look, possession isn't necessarily always gonna just win or lose you the game. I think that when you're in the lead heading into the second half, it wouldn't hurt to control possession and keep the ball away from them, especially if you're up 2 goals. Yeah, you need to absorb some of that pressure. You need to take possession, man. And make them chase it. Make them chase the ball. Make them
get desperate. And then make them get desperate too.
Make them get desperate. Pull them back out, and then transition back in again to the attack.
That's
Eric says.
That's true, Christian. He says if you have 5 in the back line and 3 defensive mids in front of them, that's a big old bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to look back at my TV when he wrote that comment. He said, "Hey guys, Dom Dwyer is back to up his body count."
The only reason I don't have that game on behind me is because I'm not trying to kill the bandwidth in this room. But yeah, I don't even want to touch that match. When we were waiting for the video we had posted earlier in the week, the press conference with Tab, Glenn happened to be on the Zoom call prior to Tab getting on there, and he even agreed Dom should have had a yellow card early in that match. Speaking of yellows, does anybody think that Elise should have had a yellow towards the end of that match? I mean, look, yes, Elise was getting bodied parts of this game, but his attitude was starting to get the best of him towards the end of it. And I understand the ref wasn't calling a whole lot, but he's got to stay level-headed. He has to.
Did he get a yellow card?
I don't think he did.
I don't believe he did.
Then why does it matter?
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying something like that's going to get you in trouble in this tournament as it goes on.
It did in that game.
Obviously not that game.
Well, ref better. Lol.
Yeah. Oh, well, I agree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pro better.
But
Pro better.
Are we really surprised though? Because that's how Elise has always been. He's always been very hot-headed, especially when he doesn't get fouls called his way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, some of those fouls were a little reckless, on him, but still, you can't be acting out like that. And honestly, beat him, score a goal, shut him up. So it matters because Atlanta's because Atlanta game last year. Yeah, but yes, he does need to chill. That's from Sly. So let's dive into the stats just a little bit. It was a 3-3 draw. It saw Quintero, Manotas, Elise, Memo, Vera, Garcia, Lundqvist, Figueroa, Struna, Valentine, and March as your starting 11. Rossi, Bradley Wright Phillips, Rodriguez. How do you say his name? Key?
Yeah, Mark Anthony K.
Yeah. Batiste Blessing, Blackman, Djokovic, Segura, Palacios, and Vermeer. Vermeer. Yeah.
Djokovic.
For what?
Djokovic.
For LAFC. You know who else he showed that age is nothing but a number, but Bradley Wright Phillips actually had a pretty decent game last night as well. But it was almost the same page as Elise. He was starting to get frustrated towards the end of that match too.
I mean, BWP is BWP. He is getting up there. We're not gonna have another golden boot season out of him. But I mean, it is some great depth for whenever you don't have a Carlos Vela.
Javier brings up an extremely good point. Positive thing out of it is that a good team is showing you the weak points that you need to work on. If we got exposed by a team like that, but we still worked out to a 3-3 draw, then LAFC shouldn't be a problem. And honestly, maybe Portland now is the team to beat in this group.
Yeah, Portland. Yeah,
they look good against LA.
Yeah, Portland.
So y'all,
that game should have ended.
So y'all think that we're not at a point to kind of pull the fire alarm on this team?
Absolutely not.
No, definitely not now. But I mean, now we're gonna see minutes being managed. I mean, we might get very close to similar lineup in the second game, but I think in the third game, depending on how we're positioned to get out of this group, I definitely think that we'll see quite a bit of changes and stuff. I mean, that's going to be the big challenge for it, is managing your players' minutes and stuff, and utilizing the depth that you have, the small depth that you have, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just frustrated the way we blew that lead. 3-1, and then not actually putting in. I did not see it like they wanted to react because they were gassed by the end of the game. But it was just I said, it's just frustrating that they put themselves in that situation.
We've been in that boat so many times, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a regular Dynamo are going to Dynamo. That was probably the best that was the best tweet that I saw from that match. Honestly, I don't see a win versus Portland. It would be hard. Yeah, I do think a win against Portland, I think, is going to be hard. I do think we could play to a draw against Portland. But real quick, Vera and Boniak both picked up yellow cards. From what I have seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, yellow cards are carrying just like any other tournament, such as the World Cup. 2 yellow cards is going to get you a night off in the group stage. So Slide does bring up another good point. Morrow is Portland's killer.
Yeah, so
you have that.
So I would probably kind of lean more towards maybe next game we might see a Tomas Martinez, and we might actually see Morrow not play so much of the false 9 and actually go more for the attack. Because that could just throw the curveball. That might be what Portland might be planning, is the way that we played against LAFC. That's probably what they're thinking.
I do have a couple quick quotes real quick that the Dynamo sent us, because I guess they did not send a video out via their media stuff. Real quick, Coach Tab Ramos, initial thoughts. I'm happy for both teams. I think both teams gave everything tonight, in particular ours, obviously. Happy to get on the field after 4 months of protocol and everything else. It was nice to be in a soccer match again. In regards to giving up a 2-goal lead and settling for a draw, no question, you're up 3-1 at halftime. You're thinking you have a pretty good shot to win the match. Obviously, we knew LAFC would create chances, and there's been a lot of they have a lot of talented players and kept finding those spaces behind, which we're prepared for, but unfortunately gave up 2 goals in the second half. It's a little disappointing that we didn't come out with 3 points. On Memo Rodriguez, and I just got 2 other quotes. Very happy with the way Memo has been working over the last 3 to 4 months to get into the starting 11, and obviously he's got the goal today. He also won man of the match, by the way. Well deserved, because he has been working hard for it. I'm happy that he's been a big contributor for us. Memo Rodriguez, let's see. I've got 1 or 2 on his goals in the first half. Yeah, I got into the game tab. Wanted the midfielders to be a little aggressive in the attacking third. I think that was important in the first half. We didn't do too much in the second half. So like I said, we just have to build on the positives and look back on the film to be ready for Portland. And on the trajectory that makes nights like last night special, yes, I want to be more aggressive in the attacking third, and I think Tab has done a great job of letting me be free. I want to play the way I like to play and show my qualities on the field like today. It's something I have to build on, and I have to be consistent game in and game out. Try to help my team in any way possible. Also, when talking about the attack, you have to defend. So the midfielder trio have to work extremely hard in the defensive end. He really iterated that Boniak, Garcia, and I need to get in the attack as much as possible and get those numbers into the box.
So real quick, and this is
Orlando scored. By the way, sorry.
And this is translated from Spanish, but basically, because they asked him, about giving up the goals, and he basically said that the idea was to play on the counter, because they knew that they had more speed in the attack than they had on defense. But the issue is that they would lose the ball real quickly. The passing accuracy wasn't there, and that's what killed their his plan in the second half against LAFC. Which makes sense. They would lose the ball real quickly, which means that LAFC just kept coming and coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
Sorry, Orlando is now up 2-0 10 minutes in.
That was
Chris Mueller with a brace already. Sorry.
So how many people have Don Dwyer bodied so far?
I don't know.
So real quick, we'll finish up this match. It's gonna let me. Last night saw Memo Rodriguez scoring in the 9th minute. Bradley Rod Phillips in the 19th. Memo Rodriguez with his brace in the 30th, and then Elise right before halftime in the 45th minute. As I said before, Vera and Boniak both picked up yellows. Diego Rossi scored in the 63rd minute, and Brian Rodriguez tied the matchup in the 69th minute. Real quick, we do the projections, and for once, I actually picked the right score line. But Edson, you took the L this week in our projections, so we are all tied for the season. One win, 2 losses on projections. Yeah. So there's that. And it's going to take us to Portland. They have looked well. Actually, backtrack a little bit. We do also have the standings. We are currently second right now in Group F. There we go. Group F with 1 draw. Portland is sitting currently first in Group F with 1 win. They're currently 4th in the West. 2 wins, one loss, and we did move up 1 spot out of last place. We are currently 11th with 1 loss, 2 draws. So what's your initial outlook so far on Portland? I can't speak today.
I don't know. I mean, I do want to see what I saw in the first half, obviously, with against LAFC. But I would like to see maybe more possession in the second half. So kind of pretty much everything we didn't get in the first game, I want that in the second game. So we might have to see a Tomas Martinez in there to help distribute the ball a little bit better for us. Maybe a formation change. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how bad Adam Lundqvist is or whatnot. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna sit out next game or whatnot. When's our next game? Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. Yeah. I mean, so there's plenty of time to actually recover from it. But I mean, it just kind of goes to the whole point of how well Tab Ramos is gonna manage these players' minutes and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I really want to see how Tab Ramos does with them because I'm really, really high on Tab Ramos.
Same. Edson?
I think we may be giving Portland too much credit for beating LA Galaxy. Because I feel like a lot of people on here have kind of made it seem that Portland is going to be impossible to beat or really hard to beat. Yes, the Dynamo defensively was lacking, especially in the second half, which we already talked about. But I mean, it's not like LA Galaxy right now is like a super team that for it to be that they barely squeaked by 2-1.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very equal match. I don't think there's going to be high scoring like it was against LAFC.
Yeah.
I think it may end up being a 1-goal game.
I could see it. I could see a couple goals out of this. I could see. I will say this: if we beat Portland Timbers, well, we're gonna win this group, though. I have high hope that if we beat the Portland Timbers, we'll go in and we'll do our work against the Galaxy, who they've played already this year, and we'll take this group.
Yeah. Eric does have a question. What is one thing you would fix for the Dynamo coming into this match?
Oof. You mean like player-wise or?
Well, just in general. Maybe formation-wise, player-wise. Who's in, who's out?
Honestly, I would go back with a 4-2-3-1 formation, and I would actually have Memo as the 10.
Hector, we're not bringing that up. He says it's weird how the Dynamo started exactly like the Dash did, and I'm like, man,
right?
And I was thinking the same damn thing yesterday. I'm like, I don't want to think like that though. I don't want to
same
think
scoreline
like
and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree with Edson. I do think that Memo and Tomas do have a weird way of working, or not. Morrow and Tomas have a real weird way of working together sometimes. But I think I've been calling for Memo to be a true number 10 on this team. I do think he has a better skill set than Tomas. So I actually would rather enjoy seeing Memo as the number 10 in this match.
And I will say this: if Boniek keeps on bringing in that hustle like he did, welcome.
How does he continue
right?
to do this for how many years now? How many years has he been on Dynamo?
He's been with us
12.
Since 2012.
Yeah. Hector, Memo's a spark for this team, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. Memo just shows that heart and grit, man. He reps the H hardcore. He's young. He's homegrown. He only wears orange. I love it. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he puts the ball in the net.
So what do y'all think about
Quintero? He's got such a bright future. Darwin Quintero. Well, he had 2 assists, didn't he? I think he had 2 assists in that game.
One of the assists was Zarek Valentin. right? That was
it
Valentine,
Zariq
yes.
Valentine?
And I believe the free kick was by Quintero. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was saying because I think Quintero had two. I knew he had at least one. Sorry, I'm trying to find the game here.
Swishy says Mara's presence on the left will free up Elise on the right, just like Kyoto did when they first came here. Yeah. Yeah. So
that was a great answer, Justin.
Well,
yeah.
I'm trying to get my thoughts in line. So,
Darwin Quintero had 2 assists. I like it. There we go.
That's the only thing that would be worrisome if you did move Memo as your number 10.
Why are we talking about Memo as a number 10? He played a central midfielder. Worked great yesterday. Just leave him right there.
Yeah. And if you notice, there was actually a time. There was
because Edson brought him up being a number 10.
Go put your Union jersey back.
Hey, I'm not the only one. Hector just said he would prefer to have Memo at that 10 role over Tomas. But
yeah, so up yours, Josh.
But if you also. I don't know if y'all probably noticed, but there was actually times where Elise and Quintero actually switched sides of the field, and it was working. It was working in that late in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm.
Yeah. So that's
honestly like even though it wasn't like an outs like where he's shown, I think Quintero did the job well for what he needed to do. Like he was able to. When you needed the speed, he was able to give it. Honestly, right now, obviously, the only question mark I would really have would be Lundy, and I don't know how much that play where he kind of got injured, how much that affected him the rest of the match, because he looked off, honestly. And Marco Maric, to me, I feel he could have done more. In at least 2 of the goals, but that's just me being picky.
Yeah, the only one I don't fault him for was Diego Rossi one. Oh. The other 2,
the one with a twist and Wright Phillips. See, I will say this. No, actually, I will say this. That Wright Phillips goal that was all on Valentin being out of position. I think he was too close into. Where Struna was, and left that wing open for who was it? Was it Rossi or was it who was on or was it a Tuesta?
It was
or Rodriguez.
Yeah, I got you right here.
And,
it was Rodriguez. All right, no, it was
Diego Rossi. So he was the one with that assist. I think had Valentin been closer to where he was, I don't think he would have been able to get such a clear pass towards Wright Phillips. So there was really nothing Marco Maric could have done. It's that goal with I'm assuming it's the third goal because I don't think I saw the second, but the third goal that was the Atuesta goal if I'm not mistaken. That one I felt like if he had reacted with his foot, if he would have acted with his foot rather than with trying to get it with the hand, I think he could have gotten a piece of it and deflected it.
Yeah. Real quick, stats of the week. All-time record against Portland, 16 matches, 6 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses. Regular season, same results. Last 5 against Portland, however, it's 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. And technically, the Dynamo are the road team, so we have 2 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 9 matches on the road against Portland. Michael Salazar is out with a right knee injury, and Marcelo Palomino is out as of right now with a thigh injury, but I would think that he should be questionable by Saturday, and I would think that his status will get updated. Asparilla, he's out for the season with the left knee injury for Portland, and Felipe Mora. Asprilla. Shut up. Felipe Mora with a right thigh strain, and he's listed as questionable. Guys, got anything else for the Portland match? Then we'll get into predictions.
No, I just hope that whenever Morrow scores against them, he does kind of like a lumberjack axe celebration and just falls to the ground. Like Tim. No, sorry, it's just sorry. Bringing a little trash talking early.
That's fine. You know what is going to bother me though is what is this match? No, this match is on ESPN, so we're okay.
I wonder if he scores, like if he goes up to because you see like in the background they have like the fans on the screen or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if he goes up to the screen and just does this.
Wow.
Well, I don't even know if they know that's where they're positioned at because those are all CGI, so you might not even know they're there.
Oh, is it?
No, I think it is CGI. I know NWSL they do have them.
Okay.
It's come out on the stadium, but I think with the MLS back tournament, it's CGI.
Yeah.
Wow, Josh.
By the way, I came up with the little title that we have, Big Showdown, a Little Orlando. And I just want you to know, Justin, I didn't tell you this either. The only reason I came up with that was I was watching Big Trouble in Little Tokyo last night with Dolph Lundgren. Is that the one, or is it yeah, I think that's the one. It's not Showdown in Little China.
Yeah. And I do have to bring this up. Eric says, man, the background noise volume was crazy. It was. It got to the point where it was extremely obnoxious.
Yeah.
Listen, I like the way this tournament is set up. I like ESPN's broadcast because I thoroughly, and somebody, we do this podcast. We like seeing the inside of the team, hence the appeal. So, I enjoy hearing the communication between players and stuff like that pitch side. So that's why I've loved ESPN's broadcast so far.
And supposedly FS1 has the ability to turn off the background the ambient noise with SAP, but apparently according to Webb, it wasn't even working. So, but they were all like promoting it, like, oh, if you want to hear the alternative audio, just use SAP. And I know for for the Premier League with Telemundo, they said that too, and it didn't work either. So I don't know what. And I honestly find it annoying because you can have it like in the Copa por Mexico, where it would set a noise level where it doesn't feel it doesn't feel fake, but it's like you're able to kind of hear it, but it doesn't take away from the game.
It's just not overbearing.
Yeah, it just adds to the atmosphere, right? And it's like my mom told me last time because she was watching a game. It was one of those. It's like you're watching the game, but it's like you never notice that they're playing in an empty stadium because it just feels natural, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas to me, the FS1 broadcast, it was so loud that it was like you could and the sound was out of sync. So you could tell right away. It just, instead of adding to the atmosphere, it takes away from it.
A couple things real quick, and we'll get into predictions for the next match. Swishy says, speaking of that, the call was way ahead of the stream because they did do the Zoom call. I know they did one with Bobby Boswell as well. So they were talking about the goal for like 2 minutes before we saw it live. Maybe that was just me. So I said...
I honestly, touching on that, I have to turn my phone off because I'll get Twitter updates and notifications, and I'm like, my stream is like 2 minutes behind.
Yeah.
Whatever everybody else is seeing, so that also sucks.
Christian from Cuatro Cuatro Dos. You sure you weren't watching Big World Little People, Josh?
I love that. That's also one of my favorite shows too. But no, that's not what I was watching.
Sly said it was an LAFC chant. Which are as well booty.
Well, I did hear. I heard maybe.
I heard that once. The rest I heard was all.
I heard a couple. I heard a couple of.
Maybe I just started to tune. Maybe I just started to tune it out because it was garbage. So real quick, Harry has Dynamo 3, Timbers 2. Eric says he's got spoilers too. Bring them on. Since I did beat everybody last week. I'm going to go ahead and go first this time. I'm going to say 2-1 Dynamo.
Not to cut you off. Oh, I was going to say nobody cares, so.
So since Josh essentially came in second because he still picked the right result, we'll let you go. What you got?
I am also going to say 2-1 Dynamo.
Okay. Edson, I mean, you're typically the bearer of bad news when it comes to these, so.
Why am I so negative? I swear.
I don't know.
I do that with every team in the organization. I always say that they're gonna lose. And,
so what's yours for the week?
I'm actually gonna change things up a bit, and I'm gonna say 1-0 Dynamo.
0 Dynamo. All right, so we're all picking the Dynamo. God, let's hope. Honestly, could you imagine that? I mean, everybody. I don't want to say people have written off the Dynamo this year because they haven't. I mean, we're only 3 matches in, but I just don't think people's eyes are on this club at all, which maybe works in their favor. There's no pressure. They can accomplish things this year and not have the spotlight on them, and then sneak into the playoffs. You know, maybe if they beat Portland, I mean,
easy. Let's just stop right there. Let's beat Portland.
No. I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far. But I'm saying if they do beat Portland, then we'll win. Pretty good shot at this tournament.
We're gonna win this group. I want to win this group.
Oh yeah. 2-1 Houston. Eric, 2-1 Portland, but would love to see us win. Sly says 1-0 Houston. You know what? I'm gonna do this.
Bold predictions.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead and give yours. I'm gonna put some of these people in here and keep track of their stuff.
No, Harry. I said I usually predict that they're gonna lose, not that I know that they're gonna lose.
Bold prediction: 4-1 Dynamo. Morrow with the hat trick, and Quintero gets his first goal, Dynamo goal. In fact, actually, I'm still going to say Quintero gets his first Dynamo goal, even with my 2-1.
My bold prediction would be I'm going to go with a 2-0 lead for the Dynamo. But here's the bold prediction. Junqua scores the second.
Oh, my God. Junqua.
My bold prediction. And I don't think it was mine last week, but something tells me it might have been. But Tomas Martinez gets subbed on early in the second half, scores 2 goals, and it's the hero of this match.
Ooh, man.
I can already listen to Jacob.
Hey.
No, hold on. I can already listen Jacob's bold prediction. He'd be saying something like, "It's gonna be a gritty match, and there's gonna be red cards everywhere." That's usually his bold prediction on the Down in the Valley show.
Harry said that Edson just admit RGV is going to lose. Also, can we just ask Edson, how many times did you get a little chubby when they mentioned RGV last night?
You know, it's funny. So I was watching the FS1, and they think they mentioned them because of Memo. And I know, and then my dad said that in the TUDN match, when they talked about Memo, all they said was, when they talked about Nico Lemoyne, they were like, oh, he comes from the second division affiliate. And my dad's like, say the name. At least FS1 said it.
Put some respect on it.
Right? But yeah, no, it's amazing hearing the name for something positive at a national broadcast.
All right, so real quick, Josh, we got you at 2-1 Houston, me at 2-1 Houston, Edson 1-0 Houston. I did also add Sly, Harry, Eric, Christian, and Hector both to the predictions. We'll keep track of yours too. You guys, for the most part, are the regulars that tune in every week. Sly, we got you at 1-0 Houston. Harry, we got you 3-2 Houston. Eric 2-1 Portland. Christian 2-1 Houston. Hector 2-0 Houston. So let's see what you guys do. It would have been cool to start this from the beginning and then give out a prize for this, since our fantasy league got messed up. Go ahead.
Blame Justin.
Oh, blame me? It ain't my fault. It's not my fault COVID happened, okay?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, blame you.
Wow.
Somehow, some way, you were responsible for it.
God, you guys are horrible. Horrible people.
You love every minute of it.
Let's see. What do we got? What do we got going on? It's kind of hard though to give the matches for. I'm not even going to do it while the tournament's going on because we have matches every single day. So, we'll just give the other Group F matches. So, where'd it go? Okay. Other Group F.
2-1 win. Portland versus LA Galaxy.
2-1 Portland, and then the 3-3 draw between us.
By the way, how bad is Chicharito?
We knew this going into it, though. We knew Chicharito was going to be absolute shit going into this MLS season.
I don't know, man. He's pretty bad, though. I mean, he did get a lucky goal, but dang, that penalty kick was terrible.
We got Jorge also at 2-0 Houston. I'll add you to the list.
I bet you, Pavone's like, from here on out, let me take the penalties. Don't you worry, okay?
That was Ronaldo Pena penalty taking skills.
Dang. I'm assuming he's did that a couple times for RGV for you or something.
Yes.
But that will take us. So our match Saturday, July 18th, 7:00. It's on ESPN. Portland Timbers, Houston. Yeah. So Chich is lame AF. Whoop, the chat is good tonight. Only other thing I wanted to touch on real quick. Actually, big news. Houston Dynamo did make some moves this week. Since the last show, they did sign another player to their homegrown contract in Daniel Rios. 17-year-old youth international player is the third homegrown player signed under Tab Ramos this year, and is the second youngest player to sign a contract in club history behind Juan Castilla, who inked a deal last month. Any thoughts on him going forward? What would you like to see? And does this seem to be the new norm for the Dynamo?
I think it'll be the new norm for the Dynamo with Tab Ramos having so much youth experience. I feel like he is going to be and make the path from academy to pro a whole lot easier and a whole lot better for these young kids to get some minutes at the professional level, whether in the USL or with the Houston Dynamo first team. But if he's going to take him to the USL, they have to be smart about it and not just play hot potato with the kid. Oh no, now you're coming here. No, you're going over there. Got to make it consistent. Got to be a long-term commitment, allowing them to develop, and then once they're able to grow as much as they need to actually be bench and give them minutes, then send it to the first team.
I will say, touching on that just real quick, Edson, with them playing hot potato, I think it would probably be a little bit easier on the player if the team was a lot closer. It wouldn't be as bad for that player, to kind of go back and forth to still get playing time, but you don't have to, ship them back down to RGV. And then, okay, well, now you're playing, we'll come back up here, because that alone takes the wear and tear on it.
Well, the thing is we're seeing it this year, not with an academy guy, but, with a lot of these signings that the Dynamo did, from the draft, where they are full-time RGV players. They're living down there. They are practicing with coaches.
But they don't have anything to back up for the shoes to fill in RGV, though, too.
Yeah.
So it also leaves RGV kind of stranded. So I get that point as well.
Daniel Rios, real quick. Let's see, 2018-2019 season, he had 12 goals. 2019-2020 season, he had 5 goals between the U18 and the U17 squad for the Dynamo. So the goals are there. He's back, bounced up and down between the U17s and the U19s, U18, 19s, U16s, and 17s. So talent's there. I'm excited to see what's going to happen to him going forward. Hopefully we get to hear his name up on the senior squad here soon. Let's see. And then there was one other note. The Houston Dash are going to be taking part in the knockout rounds in the NWSL Challenge Cup. Unfortunately, their last 2 matches was an 0-2 loss versus Sky Blue FC on July 8th, and then a 1-0 loss against the Washington Spirit. They still currently are the fourth seed in the cup. 1 win, 2 losses, 1 draw. We'll take on the 5th seed Utah Royals FC on Friday, July 18th at 9 o'clock on CBS All Access in the first knockout match. So hopefully they can turn things around and go a little deeper in this tournament after their last 2 results. And then
get good on defense, please.
Yes. Edson, that takes us to your time to shine.
All right, so tomorrow we're gonna have a good show tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the Down to the Valley channel. Basically, this week is SAFC Hate Week. I mean, South Texas Derby Week. They're playing San Antonio FC on Friday at 8 p.m. and it's going to be broadcasted on ESPN Plus. So Dynamo fans, check it out and check out the game. Support the Toros. But basically, tomorrow on the show, we're going to be talking about this past match from last Friday, where they lost 1-0 against Locomotive FC. We'll get more into details on the analysis tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. With SAFC, Harry is actually going to be on the show to talk about the South Texas Derby.
Oh,
yeah. So
I'm gonna have to tune into that.
Yeah.
One.
So we're bringing the rivalry to the show. So be sure to check it out. Just quick information on this. Obviously, last Saturday, the Toros traveled by bus on a 12-hour bus ride to El Paso and lost 1-0. But if you actually look at the match, you wonder.
Oh, here we go now.
You wonder how was it only 1-0? But we'll get more into details on it tomorrow.
I will say this: I was watching those highlights, man, and that goalkeeper, dude.
Who?
Y'all's goalkeeper was pretty solid. That's
who,
why
Blanchett? Who, Blanchett?
Yeah.
You know what's funny though, because I completely obliterated him after the first match against.
Yeah. I remember watching. I
2.
watched that match, and that was rough. He looked horrid.
And he looked much better on Saturday. So I have to give him credit for that.
He's had 3 months to correct his mistakes.
Well, you say that, but we all.
Well, not only that, but he probably doesn't want to get ripped up on down in the valley again.
You know what they say. I'm just a small minute.
Couple things real quick. Everybody's hating on Chicharito, which is great. Chicharito's done. What a waste of money. The new norm, but I like it. Imagine having someone start with us in a few years as a superstar in Europe. That would be great. Hector says, I'm only giving credit to Tab Ramos for these young signings, none to Matt Jordan. He was also Dynamo Academy Player of the Year for a short season. Let's see. And Harry's actually giving some props to the RGV goalie. That's surprising. I feel like Harry hates anything that is RGV related.
I just want to see Harry and Edson just go head to head in FIFA.
Oh, we should do that. That'd be great. We'll broadcast it on our Twitter or YouTube. Do it.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And then they can hug it out.
But guys, I expected the show to run a little longer tonight, but we hit up everything we needed. Everybody who was in the chat tonight, thank you, Jorge, Eric, Harry, Sly.
My dad.
Am I missing? I know I'm missing some people.
My dad.
Huh?
My dad.
Yes. Well, I saw that. Edson's dad, Swooshy. Did I forget anybody else?
No. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks
Speaking
for
of
tuning
dads
in tonight.
being a dad, I am less than 2 weeks away from being a dad too. So I'm gonna end my show out on that.
I can finally be the drunk uncle.
You know what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Yep.
You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be like mid-show, and Amber's gonna be like, "We gotta go."
Like, all right, y'all. See y'all later.
It'd be like, Justin be like, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Peel. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, The Peel out.
The show must go on.
Right.
I'll meet you at the hospital.
There you go. But again, guys, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it. Same thing with all our podcast outlets. So we got Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, whatever one floats your boat. And then be sure to check out our post on Dynamo Theory. I'm gonna try to get it ready tonight, post tomorrow. And that's about it. Check us out on our socials, the P05, which is our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handle. I think it's gonna do it for us. You guys got anything else?
Oh man, I'm ready for some more. Ready for some more soccer.
Yes, I have a late
Saturday.
I have a late night. The Union don't come on until 9:30 tonight.
Nobody cares about
that. Appreciate y'all guys.
Just like nobody cares about RGV. That's mean. I take that back, Edson. I love you.
Better, because I can always end the show right now. I have the control.
He could just like you should just do that, Edson. Just don't even wait for us to finish talking. Just shut it off right now.
All right, so that's gonna do it for me. I'm Justin,
and I'm Edson,
and we're the Peel, and we're out.
All right. And wear a mask, people.
Later.
Wear a freaking mask.
Yes, wear a mask. Real quick, also thanks Christian also for tuning in tonight, and be sure to check on his show too, Quattro Dos, on YouTube. I do need to get the rest of his info so I can get that out there too. But again, thanks guys. Peel, we're out of here.